Professor Cox, in your opinion, is going to win the next presidential election in the USA, and why?
At the moment, all the indications are that the next president of the United States will be President Barack Obama. Things can change and could change very quickly, but all the opinion polls now suggest that Barack Obama will be the next president and Senator Biden will be the next vice president. There will also be, if the polls are correct, an increased Democratic majority in the two houses of Congress, the House of Representatives and the Senate. The question of why is very interesting. Some would say it is because of Barack Obama himself, his qualities as a human being, his speaking abilities, his intelligence. Some would say because of the weakness of the Republican Party, which has been proving very divided as a political party. Some would also argue that Barack Obama has been very effective as a money raiser, and money always makes a big difference in a presidential election. I think, however, the critical factor, the new factor, since the beginning of September, has been the increasing evidence of a deep economic crisis in the world and a deep economic crisis in the United States itself. This, I think, has given greater impetus for change. The Republicans are now being blamed for the economic crisis, and more particularly, the Republicans have a problem that the Republicans are identifying with deregulation and lack of government involvement in the economy precisely at a moment when there's a big turn towards more government in the economy and more regulation. And this, I think, is working very favourably for the Democrats. So Barack will win, and I think it is in the end the economy which I think has made the key difference to the situation.
Which items of the political agenda are essential for the future administration?
Well, I think the first problem they will be confronting, and they may be overwhelmed by this, will simply be the financial crisis, both globally and as it affects the United States. This was not true in 2004 or even in 2000 when we had a new president, President G.W. Bush. That will be a priority for President Barack Obama, assuming he becomes president, as I've anticipated. Secondly, he will face the problems involved inevitably with the Middle East, although increasingly he will face the problems in Afghanistan, where the war is not going well, and of course Pakistan, where many people are fearing increasing crisis within Pakistan as a result of the economic downturn, as a result of social problems, and of course because of the Taliban and the threat of terrorism. I think the other big issue that he will face, and there will be many more, but these are the main ones, will be what to do with China and how to relate to Asia. Many in Europe think that Europe will be his number one issue, and I think obviously he will take care to maintain good relations with Europe, the European Union, but I think some of his bigger issues will deal with China and what appears to be the unfolding economic crisis in Asia more generally. And also, of course, in Asia, the possibilities of political instability are greater. So I think it will be firstly the financial system globally and domestically, I think next the Middle East, and then I think thirdly Asia and China in particular will be the key number three issues he will have to confront.
Which are the main challenges that the new administration will have to face at an international level? And in particular, could you explain us the prospects concerning the transatlantic relations between USA and Europe?
Well, just focusing in on the transatlantic relationship, because I've already mentioned some of the other issues internationally. There are many more, of course, Latin America, Sub-Saharan Africa. But focusing in on the transatlantic relationship, at the moment the relationship is stable and relatively secure, and I think both in Washington and in Brussels and in the capitals of Europe there is, I think, a sense of confidence about the relationship. We are not in a crisis as we were in 2003. The Bush second term has been very different to the first term. However, I think most people on both sides of the Atlantic do think there are some problems which could come back and complicate the transatlantic relations. Firstly, people are worrying about economic protectionism on both sides of the Atlantic. Again, the financial crisis will impact on the relationship. We do not know how, but it certainly will, and probably not in a beneficial and positive way. I think, secondly, Europe and the United States do have rather different views on how to deal with Russia. I think the Europeans prefer a cooperative approach. I think the United States is more tending towards a more confrontational approach, rightly or wrongly, but I think that does at least pose the possibility of further differences between the two. And thirdly and finally, one thing that could complicate the transatlantic relationship is that I think whoever is President of the United States in a few weeks' time, I think in Afghanistan there is a crisis, as I've already indicated, and I think any American president will be asking the European members of NATO or the European supporters of NATO, such as France, to contribute more troops in Afghanistan. Barack Obama will make Afghanistan a priority. He will ask for more troops. He will ask for more involvement on the ground in Afghanistan as part of the absolutely essential task of containing and hopefully one day defeating the Taliban. And I think there are many in Europe who are not prepared to make that kind of contribution. So yes, the relationship is sound and secure, but with the new economic crisis, I think with the Russian question looming, and with the problem of Afghanistan continuing and probably getting deeper in the future, these are at least three areas where we could see differences.
Thank you very much, Professor Cox.
Pleasure. Thank you very much. Nice to be at ASERI.